Hey everybody, it is Micah. Welcome back. So for those of you who don't know, and I'd be surprised if you don't know, Final Fantasy XIV has a new expansion coming out. Early access starts this Friday. And this morning when I woke up, I noticed that we had the preliminary patch notes. So I decided that I was going to take some time and I was going to go through all the patch notes with you and we can talk about them. Hopefully we can talk about them below. I'm going to, go through them and maybe give some thoughts along the way and everything. So could be fun. I'm having a really great day today. So this is like the perfect day for me to have this going on. Had a fun time in the Pantheon Plus stream last night. Had a great night's sleep, everything. So yeah, it's just been an overall good day. I will be doing this for patch notes with 4.0 or 14 from now on, and I will also be doing this with all patch notes we get once Pantheon Rise of the Fallen gets started. So there's that. But let's get started on these patch notes because there's a lot of them. I'm going to switch my camera over here so you can see my screen. And yeah, I'm going to jump right in. So, playable content. We have new cities, the Crystarium, Ulmore, and we also have new field areas, which include Lakeland, which is very, very pretty. A little bit pink, but very pretty. Calusia, Orang, Ilmig, and the Ratika Greatwood. Now, I'm going to be really surprised to see which ones of these are actually in the source, which is which is our world, and which ones are going to be in the first. I'm thinking the Ratika Greatwood is in the source, but I'm not 100% sure. We have new city Ithrates added, which are beautiful. And then quests. So, patch 5.0 introduces a myriad of quests in addition to the main scenario. As such, there may be cases where the patch notes only cite initial quests in a series or omit quests entirely to prevent spoilers. This is pretty standard. And actually going through these, there's really no real quests listed. But here we got Minfilia, who we know is going to be there, and this dude who I assume is the Mancote from the Crystal Tower series, one of the new fairy people, and Urianger, which is one of my favorite characters. New side story quests have been added. Side story quests added in patch 5.0 will employ an automatic level adjust system known as Quest Sync. Quests using this system have the difficulty and experience rewards adjusted to match your current level. I was kind of disappointed when I heard this because I always liked to get a little bit ahead of level and then go back and complete quests, just because there are so many fetch quests and so many kill quests. It was easier to do them once you were a level or two above and then go back and get the bonus experience. This is just kind of like, ugh. It's gonna take so long now. But anyway, role quests have been added. Each Disciple of War and Magic will be able to progress through one of the 4 series of quests based on their designated role from level 70 to 80, and completion of these quests is required to complete the main scenario of Shadowbringers. It's good. I'm kind of disappointed that they took out job quests. Although at level 80 you will have a job-specific quest that you can take, but I am kind of upset that they got rid of all the story and the lore, because that's what this game's about, is story and lore. And new job quests have been added upon reaching level 80, which you see here for all the jobs. Get through all these. So Crystarium deliveries have been added. So the Crystarium deliveries are a new type of custom delivery. Each disciple of the hand or land will be able to progress through one of the 5 series of quests associated with different facets of the crystalline mean. Completing deliveries or a facet of the crystalline mean will advance the story of that particular facet. Because Crystarium delivery quests rewards include crafter scripts and gathering scripts, players must first complete the quest Inscrutable Tastes before undertaking deliveries. So you got that. I like this nice little interface. It looks like it's going to be... I always like when they add stuff for crafting and gathering. I like an excuse to fish more than anything. To support new and returning players, additions and adjustments have been made to rewards for certain main scenarios, side story, and job quests. When it comes to leaves, new leaves have been added for Disciples of Hand and Land, and Tradecraft and Fieldcraft leave quest rewards will be significantly reduced when using a class at level 70 or above to complete a leave within level requirement below 70, just kind of like they did for level 60. So for fates, new fates have been added. Of course, this looks like really interesting. That kind of reminds me of the thing that in the Azim Steppe that they live on, that the Ara live on. Players will now receive bi-color gemstones upon completing Fates of 5.0. This currency can be exchanged with a gemstone trader NPC for various goods. And furthermore, once you continue to complete Fates in those areas, gemstone traders will offer a wider selection of items. To view your progress in each area, select Fate under the travel in the main menu. Looks like I'm doing Fates this time. I really don't do Fates at all, but this will get me to do them because I want that stuff. Treasure Hunt. In the following additions and adjustments have been made to Treasure Hunt. The Glider and Zornura skin treasure maps have been added, and the rewards for the Wyvern skin and the Gagana skin treasure maps have been adjusted, as well as the Elegant Tombstone rewards for completion have been changed because Elegant Tombstones have been changed. And players will now be synced to level 70 for the Lost Canals, the Hidden Canals, and the Shifting Altars of Uznair. For Grand and Free companies, the additional items will now be accepted for supply and provisioning missions. The display of submersible parameters have been adjusted, and Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer symbol options have been added to company chests. Now, I don't have a free company, I own one, but I don't have one. I'm thinking about getting my free company back off the ground. So if anybody would be interested, I am on the Sargatana server. If anybody's interested in coming and playing with me, if you have a big one organized, please let me know because I would love to have a free company and play with people again. I really, really would. So housing, new furniture has been added, and a lot of this new furniture is really great. Some of this is from the furniture design contest. You got curtains, which are really nice. You got these things which are based off the White Mage, and I'm hoping we get stuff based off other jobs. And you got a big old log for your yard, and they're growing potatoes on their log. New furnishings have been added. I love that they're adding more windows. However, I would really like them to... I would like to be able to place windows over the existing ones, because the existing ones just kind of suck sometimes. Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer gear has been added for mannequins, and new estate tags have been added, which include the Atelier, the Bathhouse, the Garden, and the Far Eastern. And a preview function has been added for furnishings. I love this. So using the function, players can confirm size and color of furnishings, including those they do not yet own before they are placed on estate grounds. To use the furniture preview, select either Preview Indoor or Preview Outdoor Furnishings from the Housing menu under Social to display the applicable furnishings. Furnishings will be sorted by category with a separate category for furnishings newly added to each patch. I love that. A search function will also be available to find specific furnishings. Furnishings that can be dyed will also allow you to select a color when previewing them. I love everything about this. Absolutely everything about it. The restrictions on exterior furniture the restrictions on exterior fixtures based on housing ward have been removed. I love this too. Absolutely love this. I have my house is in mist, and I really like some of the exteriors that were lavender beds only. But I got my mansion in mist because I do like mist, and yeah, anyway. I'm going off on a tangent there. The help interface will now display when speaking with resident caretaker about housing features. Crafting facility furnishings can now be used by crafting classes up to level 70. In accordance with the increased character level cap, level 80 Crystarium striking dummies have been added. New orchestrations have been added. New aquarium fishes have been added. And new seeds for flower pots have been added. They're showing hydrangea seeds right here, and those are very, very pretty. I really, really like them. I actually want to put hydrangeas outside of my own house because I have a huge garden. For the Manderville Gold Saucer, new prizes are available for purchase using MGP. The following additions and changes have been made to the Triple Triad. New cards have been added, new NPC opponents have been added, and players can now engage in new areas. Well, obviously, since there are new areas. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Domain Mahjong. I haven't even unlocked this. I know a lot of people are not really interested in this, so I'm just going to really skim over this. So the option to reset rank and rating has been added. The image of your character will be displayed during playing. The display of calls can now be canceled by right-clicking. The icon will be displayed to indicate whether you enter Furitin, whatever that means. The auto-declare winning hand feature has been added. The option to declare Ron or call appear simultaneously. The event of draw, Tenpai, or no Ten will be indicated for corresponding players. And when a player discards a tile, there are a certain probability of a short delay occurring. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway. Miscellaneous. Players can now select Hrothgar and Viera races. I am a pure elf player, as I've stated before. I love my elves. However, I will make one of my alts a Viera, and I will make one of my alts a Hrothgar, just to test them out. I did the same with Ara. They didn't last long, but I did the same. And I personally don't care about the gender locks. To me, makes no difference. I don't care. The following additions have been adjusted to the sightseeing log. Shadowbrainer entries have been added, and now entries can be completed regardless of job or class. The following additions and changes have been made to the challenge log. The categories Fated to Wander and Embrace Your Fate have been removed, and new fate categories called In Your Fate 1 and 2 have been added. In Your Fate 1 is the completion of 5 fates with the highest rating possible, and In Your Fate 2 is completion of 10 fates with the highest rating possible. So it's no longer unique fates, and it's no longer different regions. It's just flat out fates. Chloe's Bronze Certificate of Commendation has been added as rewards for completing Wander's Trials. These certificates can be exchanged with Chloe Alipo for a number of unique prizes. I need to keep my palate wet. Otherwise, this is going to be long. This will be hard to read all this. Skywatch NPCs have been added to the new areas, and they will be able to give you the weather for all areas, regardless of whether it's the source or the first. So, and when I'm talking about the source and the first, for those of you that do not know, the source is the original world, and the first is the world that we are going to in the expansion. New emotes and hairstyles have been added. The level cap has been increased to 80, of course, and Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs have been added. Gunbreaker will open at the God's Quiver Bow in New Gridania, and Dancer will open in Limsa Lominsa Lower Decks with the Eager Lominzin. I will be doing this immediately and leveling that up to level 70 immediately as well. New job actions have been added, which we've seen. Substantial revisions have been made to the battle system. Umbral Ice now reduces the MP cost of ice spells. Enmity gain for certain healing actions has been reduced. To improve player usability, the time frame within which players must execute actions to continue or complete combos has been extended. The fixed set of role actions has been assigned to each job, and players will learn role actions as they level and will no longer be required to select a subset of these actions to be used in combat. I do wish they would have made them unique to each job. I mean, I liked it when Asuna was Asuna for white mages and leeches for scholar. It adds a little bit of flavor and variety. And if you know me, I'm all about that flavor when it comes to these games. The following adjustments have been made to limit breaks. The rate at which the limit break gauge fills when using healing actions has been reduced. The limit break gauge will no longer fill when a non-healer job uses a healing action. And the rate at which the limit gauge fills in new areas when taking damage from enemies under certain conditions has been reduced. And the interrupt effect has been added. A gauge indicating when actions can be interrupted has been added. Player actions with this new effect can prevent the execution of enemy abilities when used before this bar can be filled. The following actions have this effect: interject and head graze. In accordance with this change, the silence effect has been removed. Charged actions have been implemented. So these actions allow players to expand charges to execute them multiple times in quick succession. The recast time for these actions determines the rate at which charges accumulate. The maximum number of charges for these actions can be confirmed via their action help text, and restarting a duty will fill all charged actions to maximum. It looks like there's going to be a charge indicator on the icon that will be on our hotbar, but I really wish they would have something, a UI element, that so we wouldn't constantly be having to look at our hotbar. I hate having to constantly look at my hotbar in this game. It really breaks me from what's going on with the action and the combat and everything. Certain weapon skills and spells will now have unique recast timers. While these actions are still affected by the global cooldown timer, they will not share a recast with other weapon skills. A timer will display over the icon and weapon skills and spells that require that spells with unique recast timers. The following adjustments have been made to pets. This makes me sad. So pet actions have been removed and incorporated into player actions. Pets can no longer be targeted by players or enemies. They'll no longer display on the party list, and their HP will no longer be displayed when targeted. That makes me sad because I love pet jobs, and I hate that they're making pets. It makes it sound like they're making pets less important. I mean, it might be different since they're incorporating them into player actions, but yeah, I still wish that pets were the focus of certain jobs. Player attributes have been adjusted as follows. TP has been removed. Maximum MP has been fixed to 10,000, and MP cost of actions has been adjusted accordingly. The effect of piety has been changed from increasing max 8 MP to increasing MP regeneration rate of healers only. And parrying and blocking is now less effective in reducing damage. In accordance with changes to player attributes, the effect of certain monster and NPC actions has also been adjusted. And then we also have party bonus effects that have been adjusted. Players will now receive 1% increase to strength, vitality, dexterity, mind, and intelligence for unique role in their party up to 5%. And these are split between tank, melee, DPS, physical range DPS, magic range DPS, and healer. The 100% increase in experience gained granted by the armory bonus will now apply to all jobs below 70. From level 70 onward, the armory bonus is 50% increase in XP gained. In accordance with the increase in level cap, bonuses for new worlds and preferred worlds are now applicable up to level 69. And I said, look here for new and preferred worlds. And I can tell you, in North America, we don't really have a lot of either of these because most of our worlds are completely locked down. I'm in the Aether data center, and I think we have one server that you can roll a character on. It's not very, yeah. We have new dungeons that are added, which we see here. The experience chain bonus in instant dungeons has been removed as well. And then we have the trust system. So this system allows you to challenge main scenario dungeons with a party of allied NPCs. Parties must be composed of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS, and this feature cannot be used while in a party with other people. So to use the trust system, after reaching the quest objective to clear a dungeon in the main scenario, several allied NPCs will be standing near the dungeon entrance. Speak with them and you will have the option to add them to your party and enter the dungeon. When it comes to revisiting dungeons, the trust system can be used to enter dungeons you have already completed. First, select trust under duty in the main menu. In the window that appears, select the dungeon you wish to enter and the NPCs to accompany you. Item level sync will be applied to certain instanced quest battles. In accordance with the increase in level cap, players can now gain experience from level 70 dungeons and level 4.0 Alliance raid dungeons. New trials have been added. Continuing on the light theme of the first. The Echo will be applied to all 4.0 trials. The strength of the Echo gained in Alpha and Omega FFXIV Savage has been increased by 20%. The following additions and changes have been made to Elegant Tombstones. I'm going to butcher this, but it's Tombstones of Jotia? I'll say Jotia. But anyway. But you can get them now, maximum of 2,000, no weekly cap. But you need to be level 80 and at least one class or job to receive them. And there's going to be a secondary currency called the Tombstone of Phantasmagoria, which will be available 4 weeks after start of Shadowbringers. And in accordance, Mendacity and Genesis are no longer available. You'll be able to exchange them for Tombstones of Poetics, which will then be used for level 50, 60, and 70 gear. Players can now use the undersized party option to participate duties introduced after the release of Stormblood. The Raid Finder now only lists trials and duties introduced in patch 5.0. And the Duty Finder has been adjusted as follows. So the duties associated with each Duty Roulette subcategory have been adjusted. Duty Finder categories have been adjusted. The Duty Roulette 50-60 has been changed to Duty Roulette 50-60-70. And the type of Elegant Tombstones received has been adjusted. And it gives the adjustments, but these are basically just changing the tombstones over. The weekly restriction on receiving cracked clusters upon clearing the Orbon Monastery has been removed, and new enemies have been added. A lot of these look really good. Like they just keep getting better graphically. And new elite marks have been added, and I love this goblin. This goblin is just, yeah. Players can now hunt regular and elite marks in the new areas, of course. And then the marks defeated in the new areas will also yield sacks of nuts, which can be exchanged for various items. Players must first complete the following quest before taking up the hunts in the area, which is called Nuts to You, and it's at the Crystarium, and you have to be level 70 to take it out. You can exchange sacks of nuts for enemies at the following NPCs in the Crystarium: Xylee and Ulmor Ilfoy. Going to get me to do more hunts too, which honestly isn't that hard because I do a lot of them anyway. A notification will now display when an S-rank elite mob spawns in your current area. A notification indicating the general direction of a B-rank marks will now display when they spawn in an area. And a notification indicating a nearby B mark that has been defeated will now be displayed. I don't know why I'm stumbling over those. The Centurial Seals cap has also been increased from 1,000 to 4,000, which means we are likely going to be gaining new items for that, which makes me happy. Mark bills for A Realm Reborn and Heavensward areas can now be used to open maps for their respective areas. Don't honestly know why you would need to open maps for respective areas when you can just go to the area anyway. The following additions and changes have been made to Deep Dungeons. So for Palace of the Dead, the items yielded by bronze, iron, silver, and gold trim sacks have been adjusted, and Gunbreaker and Dancer arms are available from Iuna Kotor. For Heaven on High, items yielded by silver, gold, and platinum haloed sacks have been adjusted, and Gunbreaker and Dancer arms are now available from the Confederate Custodian. The Lawns, which is an expansion of Stone Sea Sky, has been added. And the Lawns offer trials tailored to various high-level duties in which players will be tasked with destroying a level 80 striking enemy. To access Lawns, players must first complete the following quest, yet another striking opportunity. The following adjustments have been made to Logos actions in the Forbidden Land Eureka. Wisdom of the Duelist, the effect which reduces TP has been removed, and Rejuvenate, the effect which restores TP, has been replaced with an effect that restores HP. PvP. This is something that I've never participated in Final Fantasy XIV that I would love to participate in, but I keep procrastinating because I don't want to go in not knowing what's going on. Yeah. So, in accordance with this, PvP traits have been removed. In accordance with this change, the traits tab of the PvP profile window has also been removed. PvP actions for all jobs have been adjusted. The additional actions are now adjusted based on current job role, and the following adjustments have been made. TP's been removed. The range of melee and melee attacks has been increased from 3 to 5 yalms. The global cooldown timer has been increased from 2.3 to 2.4 seconds. The HP recovery rate outside of combat has been increased from 10 to 20% of maximum HP, and the MP recovery rate has been increased from 200 to 250. The MP recovery rate outside of combat has been increased from 400 to 500. Players will now be granted temporary immunity to knockback and draw-in effects once they've been affected by them, and experience yielded after a match will now be granted to the job used at time of registration rather than current job at time of end of match. And the Feast PvP team season has ended. The top combatants for PvP teams will receive special rewards via the delivery Moogle. Items. So new items have been added. This is new weapons and armor. I'm assuming this is some from the dungeon. They're not giving us the full list of items or recipes since there are so many. Not in this one anyway. They'll probably release that later. Certain items can now be sold, desynthed, submitted as expert deliveries, or converted into materia, and certain items can no longer be sold. Sale prices of certain items have been changed, and the following item names have been changed. So fair vouchers are now Fair Voucher 17. Rising tokens are now 5th Rising token, and pumpkin cookies are now Ripe Pumpkin cookies. The main attribute of accessories has been adjusted in accordance with the rebalancing of the battle system. The main attribute of the Aetheryte earring when equipped by a tank will be strength instead of vitality, and the haste attribute on certain equipment is now displayed with a plus sign rather than a minus sign, but the attribute itself remains unchanged. New items available in exchange for achievement certificates have been added. The Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs have been added the Gunbreaker and Dancer have been added as required jobs for certain gear. I hear that, Gunbreaker is obviously going to be tank. I heard Dancer is going to be Archer, Bard, Machinist gear. It would make sense in my mind that would have been added to Scout gear, but nope. Apparently, it's going to be ranged gear, which just sucks because that's just going to make it harder to come by. The following adjustments have been made to materia melding. When melding fails, it is now possible to immediately reattempt the meld so long as more of the same materia is present in the melder's inventory. And the following stats cannot be improved by melding, which is strength, vitality, dex, intelligence, and mind. After watching it for the first time, it is now possible to skip a cutscene when requesting materia transmutation from Unimex in Central Thanalan. Love that. Love that. And the following types of materia are no longer available. And that's the stat materia, the strength, dex, and stuff like that. Level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 380 to 450, and the cumulative skill cap has been raised from 1160 to 1370. The level cap for Disciples of Hannah Land has been increased to 80, and elemental aspects have been removed from synthesis recipes. New crafter actions have also been added. So at level 37, you will get brand and name of elements. At 71, you'll get preparatory touch. At 72, rapid synthesis 3. At 74, reuse. At 76, delicate synthesis. At 78, intensive synthesis. And at 80, you will get trained eye and trained instinct. And the following actions are now available to all crafter classes. And that is at level 37, you will get Steady Hand, and at level 50, you'll get Birogot's Blessing. And accordingly, they will no longer be set as additional actions. And the following crafter actions have been removed. So the brand and name actions have been removed. So like brand of wind, fire, ice, and name of wind, fire, ice, etc. have been removed. And Birgot's brow has been removed. And the following conditions have been added to crafter actions. So now you will have inner quiet, which is the bonus, and the adjustment to inner quiet is the bonus to control can now be stacked with innovation but cannot exceed 3,000. And the heart actions, like heart of carpenter, blacksmith, etc., can only be used up to 5 times per synthesis. For goldsmith, for armor, piece by piece has been adjusted to increase the increased progress cannot exceed 1,000. For goldsmith, the innovation has been adjusted. The bonus to control can be stacked with inner quiet but cannot exceed 3,000. And maker's mark can only be effective up to 25 steps. And then finally, for culinarian, muscle memory increased to progress cannot exceed 1,000. The following adjustments have been made to the crafting log. So the maximum percentage to which the initial quality can be raised by using high quality materials is now displayed on recipes. So recipes for which the initial quality limit may be greater or less than 50% have been added as of patch 5.0. The values of both progress and quality increase at 100% efficiency are now displayed on recipes for your currently equipped crafting class. The class quest category has been changed to read story. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the synthesis window. This I love because this is absolutely beautiful. The UI has been adjusted to make durability condition information easier to understand. The symbol indicating the collectible synthesis in progress is now displayed in the window. Statuses applied by crafter actions are now displayed in the window, and the values of both progress and quality increase at 100% efficiency are now displayed in the window. Love it, love it, love it. This is just going to be great for crafting now. Calculations to increase the progress and quality, assuming a base 100% efficiency, has been added. In accordance with this change, the effectiveness of actions affecting progress and quality have been slightly reduced for recipes added prior to Shadowbringers. The difficulty of certain recipes found in Master Recipes 5 and 6 have been reduced. New actions and traits have been added for Disciples of the Land. For Miner and Botanist, at 71 you'll get Stickler, at 74 you'll get the Giving Land, at 77 you'll get Pick Clean, and at 78 you'll get Mountaineer and Pioneer. For Fisher, at 71 you'll get Surface Slap, at 77 you'll get Identical Gig, and 79 you'll get Identical Cast. For traits, for Miner and Botanist, at 70 you'll get Enhanced Stealth 10, 73 Enhanced Stealth 11, and 76 Enhanced Stealth 12, and then at 80 you'll get Enhanced GP Regen. For Fisher, at 70 you'll get Enhanced Stealth 10, at 73 Enhanced Stealth 11, 75 you'll get Gull Eye 8, at 76 you'll get Enhanced Stealth 12, at 80 you'll get Gull Eye 9, and Enhanced GP Regeneration 2. New Miner and Botanist gathering points have been added, of course. The following actions have been adjusted to Fisher. New fishing holes have been adjusted, and S-rank records can now be obtained from certain fishing spots listed in the fishing log. The following additions and adjustments have been made to spearfishing. New teeming waters have been added, and AAA records can now be obtained with all jig heads listed in the fishing logs. New tomes of regional folklore have been added. New items that can be used for ethereal reduction have been added. The amount of items received from ethereal reduction has been adjusted. Freshwater boilies and saltwater boilies, which this is really great, have bait effective on a wide variety of fishing 2.0 areas have been added. This is amazing. I wish they'd add it for other ones because carrying around all that bait is just insane. Honestly, I wish they wouldn't even have freshwater and saltwater. I wish they would just have one, just overall one. But it's still going to save me a lot of inventory. The following adjustments have been made to the gathering log. Entries related to the regional folklore are now categorized by region. Gathering locations and time information will now be displayed for items successfully gathered from an undiscovered or hidden gathering point. Gathering time information will be displayed for any item successfully gathered from ephemeral gathering points, and a timer indicating when an item will next be available for gathering can now be created for any item successfully gathered from an undiscovered, hidden, or ephemeral gathering point. Like that, because I often will look at the time and then forget about it, and yada yada yada, and blah blah blah. Players above level 70 will now receive a maximum of 10,000 experience when trading collectibles of 1-star level 70 or lower. The amount of experience gained from delivering collectibles as level 60 to 70 gatherer will be increased, and the following additions and adjustments have been made to crafter and gathering scripts. The white script has been added, and the white script and white gatherer script currencies have been added for Disciples of Hand and Land that are level 80. Red crafter scripts are no longer available. They will now be exchanged for yellow crafter scripts, and blue crafter scripts have been removed completely. Same thing they did with tombstones. The amount of crafter and gathering scripts received from delivering collectibles has been adjusted. Level 70 arms, gear, and accessories have been... So before I go on to more, I honestly thought Yoshida at one time brought up something about a new... I think it was a Disciple of the Land being added, where you can do some sort of like animal husbandry or raising animals or rearing or something like that. I thought he mentioned that not long ago in an interview when they were first talking about Shadowbringers, and I thought it was going to be here, but it's not. So I'm not sure. I mean, they haven't said anything about it since. So I'm not sure if I misunderstood him or if I heard that's something they're working on or something, but I thought it was going to be added here, and I was really, really, really looking forward to it, and it's not here, and I'm really disappointed. But hopefully that will be a thing. We will get it soon, because I hope they don't go back to that whole, like, we're going to talk about this and we're going to tell you all about it, and then when we can't do it, we're just not going to mention it ever again, because I hate that. Be upfront. We're you know, yeah. I could do a whole video about that tangent. So anyway, continue on. Level 70 arms, gear, and accessories have been added to the inventory of vendors in Kugane. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Salvagers, and new mounts have been added. I love this little tiny little flying white one. And also new mounts are able to fly. New chocobo barding has been added, which it looks like Dancer and Gunbreaker. I would really hope that they would just give us mounts, job-specific mounts. That would be an awesome thing, but that they're not. New minions, of course, have been added. I hope they add new dogs, because I love my dogs. Marker boards have been added to the Crystarium, of course, and also reduced taxes have been adjusted. And the additions and adjustments have been made to retainers. So retainers can be registered at the Crystarium market. Hrothgar and Viera can be selected as retainer races. Hair and face paint obtained as rewards can now be applied to retainers during customization. The retainer cap has been raised to 80. Retainers can now be assigned Gunbreaker and Dancer jobs. New objectives have been added to the delivery missions and exploration ventures. Exploration ventures are now displayed with the highest level ventures first. The retainer interface has been redesigned and selections can now be reordered. Retainer animations upon being summoned or dismissed have been adjusted to increase the responsiveness of the interface, and the color of retainer nameplates has been changed to that of NPCs. Let me see. New achievements and titles have been added. Of course, the following additions and adjustments have been made to achievements. Certain categories have been adjusted. Achievements can now be selected via subcommands and recorded to the watch list for easy access. Achievements can now be filtered by completion status or type of reward, and clicking on an achievement in the relevant category will no longer automatically open its primary category. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the recommendation window. Hunt marks are now displayed, sightseeing clues are now displayed, and the hunting log entries for both class and grand companies now appear in the same category. The window can also be locked. The following adjustments have been made to the Party Finder. So links to the Party Finder can now be posted in chat log. There is this little icon that appears. You just click on that and it will link it in the chat log. Cross-world party invitations to players in other worlds can be now issued via the chat log. The following additions and adjustments have been made to third-party list, or to the party list, not the third-party list. The party list is now indicates HP increases granted by barriers, and they also indicate when maximum HP has been reduced. The battle animations for allied NPCs and quest battles will now always appear. These effects cannot be disabled via settings in the character config interface. The amount of glamours that can be stored in the glamour dresser has been increased from 200 to 400, and the amount of plates from 10 to 15. What they really, really need to do with this is they need it so your plates will be applied no matter where you are in the world. Having it restricted to just cities or camps is ridiculous. I don't use them specifically because of this, and it's just, it sucks. It sucks bad. Anyway, the following changes have been made to group hosts. The trust system NPCs will now be included in group hosts at the time of duty completion. And trust and squadron NPCs will now repeat their most recently executed action upon duty completion. Recordable duties have been changed to Shadowbrainer trials are now available in Duty Recorder. A target's HP can now be displayed in increments of 0.1 when it has less than 1 HP remaining. It shows it right here with 0.9 for Omega. The UI's color scheme can now be set between light or dark. Not a big fan of this buttery thing myself, so I will be keeping it dark, but it's going to be interesting to see what else they add at some point. I'm sure it's going to be something very kawaii and annoying. I really hope that we get something, I hope we get a balance of something really beautiful and something kawaii, because they do way too much cutesy footsie crap in this game. In accordance with the increase in level cap, the conditions that must be met to set your status as new adventure has been adjusted as follows. So before, you must have played at least 160 or less than 168 hours, and you have completed and have not completed the Far Edge of Fate scenario quest. Now that's been changed to Requiem of Heroes. Even if you shut off your new adventure status, you can still turn it back on as long as those conditions are met or have yet to be met. And then coinciding with the increase in level cap, the requirements for new mentors has been adjusted as follows. For the Disciples of War and Magic, you must have completed the level 80 Tank Role quest, must have completed the level 80 Healer Role quest, and must have completed at least one of the level 80 DPS Role quests. You must have completed at least 1,000 dungeons or trials and gotten at least 300 accommodations. For Disciples of Hand and Land, you must have reached level 80 in Disciples of the Land, and you must have reached level 80 with one Disciple of the Land and one Disciple of the Hand. You must have synthesized at least 100 collectibles and gathered at least 300 collectibles. So if you got certification before the release of 5.0, you will not be required to get the new requirements. However, in 5.1, you will. The following additions and adjustments have been made to cross-world link shells. The number of cross-world link shells a single character can create or join has been increased from 1 to 8. And the member list can now be configured to show online members at the top or sort by number or alphabetically when DualShock 4 and other gamepads with vibrate function will now vibrate when the Duty Finder matching has completed. And the following additions and adjustments have been made to cutscenes. The text relating to the formation or disbanding of parties will no longer appear with a cutscene in progress, and a manner in which dialogue selections are displayed has been changed. Makes it look a little bit more pretty and puts it out of the middle of the screen. The position of the identifying letter next to a focus target's name has been adjusted. I don't actually like this because this looks like it's going to be harder to... Before, at the end of the name, it kind of popped out. Now it just kind of seems to blend in a little bit more. The The following additions have been made to the map. There are now separate toggle icons to turn map text and map icons on and off, and certain quest objective icons have been changed to indicate elevation. So up or down arrows have been added to them. Job gauge details have been revised, of course, since there's new changes to jobs. The order in which character names can be displayed has been adjusted in accordance with changes made to pets. The battle and other tabs of currency window have been revised. The unlimited setting under frame rate limit in the display setting. The unlimited setting under frame rate limit in display settings section of the system config has been replaced with a maximum 90 FPS system. So apparently we can't run unlimited anymore, which kind of sucks because I run it about 130 FPS on standard. Additions have been made to the system config interface. So it just says theme settings. Not sure what that means. Settings have been removed from the character config interface. And these are display name settings for pets mainly. And the other tab for HP bar settings. Additions have been made to character config, which is notification sound tabs for cross-world link shells 2 through 8. And disable targeting of minions of pets, which you can't do anyway. The additions and adjustments have been made to the keybind menu for shortcuts for fate completion and trust, and chat tab for the new cross-world link shells. And then adjustments have been made to text commands, so now you can do the /CWL 1 through 8 for your cross-world link shell. The cross-world subcommands will now send a message to your currently active cross-world link shell. And the following text commands have been removed: the /add PvP trait and /Gauss barrel. Pet actions will no longer be used as subcommands for the text command listed below. Obviously, since no more pet commands. The following aliases have been adjusted. So if below 100%, percentages will now be displayed to the first decimal place for HPP, MPP, and everything. This is if you do a lot with macros. And the following aliases have been removed, which is the pet HP, pet TP, and just plain TP. Additions have been made to the auto-translate dictionary. Some dictionary entries have been removed in accordance with additions and adjustments to actions. Only the auto-translate symbol will now appear within macros that previously used these entries. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4 autocomplete dictionary. New music have been added, of course. I'm sure Soken has been hard at work. In order to reduce server congestion upon the release of 5.0, the following measures will be implemented temporarily. You will be auto-logged out after 30 minutes if there's no input. And new areas will be split into multiple instances. So if you're going to go into an instance with a person, make sure you are in a party with them, because that's the only way to enter the same instance if it's anything like it was with 4.0. The following additions and adjustments have been made to character creation. The default appearance of characters as displayed of the race and clan selection screens has been adjusted. Hairstyle options can now be limited to favorites only. And hairstyle and face paint options obtained as rewards are now marked accordingly at the esthetician. Characters on accounts with active subs will be prioritized in login queues. So if you are on a trial, you may have a little bit harder time getting in. Support for the Mac 64-bit version has begun, and they dropped support for Mac 32-bit version. Although, being a PC guy, I have no idea why you'd play games on a Mac or even own a Mac or, well... The following additions have been made, or adjustments have been made along with the release of the Mac 64 version. Auto-translate functions now available. Previously sent messages can be displayed and re-entered using up and down arrow keys while the chat box is selected, and additions have been made to the system config interface. Square Enix account passwords can now be saved to the PlayStation 4 launcher. And the title screen logo and opening movie has been changed to those of Shadowbringers. However, you can watch the Stormblood movie in the movie selection of the title screen. And the Gunbreaker and Dancer have been added to solo rankings for Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High. And that is everything. Finally gotten through it all. So, now that's switch back to this. So, we have gone through the preliminary patch notes. Thank you for sticking with me if you've gone this far. Like I said, I'll be doing this for other patch notes in the future. For this game and for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, once you start getting that. You can start playing Stormblood if you have early access come this Friday. If not, you have to wait a few more days, but it's not going to be too long. I really hope to see you in game though, and like I said, if you are on Sargatanas, let me know. I would love more people to play with. It would be just great to do something. I have no free company right now. I do own one. I am contemplating whether or not to start that back up. So that might be something that I do. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that right now. But if you have a free company or something like that, yes, I would love an invite. Or if you want to just come and help me with it. Anyway, yeah. So I have a few more videos that I am writing right now to get out. So I'll be having a bunch of videos coming out soon. But yeah, that's about it for me. I, again, hope to see you on Friday in Shadowbringers. And as per the usual, it has been a hoot. Until next time, have fun.